What up, y'all? It's interesting the way that I just look at everything differently now. I obviously really love podcasts. It's why I talk about them all the time. And I think podcasts can be a great way to, get news and to hear cultural commentary and just to, feel connected, especially when I was in the quarantine on the night shift. The fact that podcasts kind of, are so immediate and they're especially during pandemic, things were changing so quickly that okay, hearing these other people who make this weekly show talk about these other things that I'm grappling with really helps. And so especially with Riley, I would recommend podcasts to them a good amount. But I don't really know how often they listen to podcasts, if ever. um and then now I just get thinking, I wonder if that's because podcasts specifically are already too overstimulating, or because yeah, they if they had other voices, other racing. Oops, I accidentally stopped the video as I was recording. But yeah, if they had overwhelming in the brain, it would make sense that adding another voice in there just doesn't work as well. And yeah, it's really interesting the ways now when you die or whatever, your life flashes before your eyes, but it seems like when you're grieving, your life just slowly washes over you and everything feels like you are just and reevaluating. There's even one time I was spring break in college with Riley and my girlfriend at the time, and we were driving back up to Iowa from Texas. And when it was Riley's shift to drive, after 30 minutes, it was late, and they just didn't feel good. They didn't feel comfortable driving, and so I took over, and I drove 10 hours that day out of maybe the 15 hours, and they only drove for 20, 30 minutes, and it was fine. I was happy to do it. But now I'm oh, I wonder, were they having visual hallucinations or something going on that they couldn't really say, but they were experiencing, and they were able to ask for support. And so it's interesting the way that yeah, I wonder if that was an early little symptom, or because that's the other thing. Honestly, we don't really know when Riley started experiencing more symptoms and delusions, and I don't know, different things that maybe were very tough for them to deal with, because definitely know from them sharing and just experiencing them in some hard moments that it was very overwhelming and very hard to deal with. But yeah, anyway, I definitely had fun times listening to podcasts with them, and even if they never listen to ones I recommended, that's totally fine. Yeah, but this grief stuff, weird.